Hey Vicky, are you there? Do you have a moment to chat at all, really quick? I just wanted to let you know something if you had a moment to text. Okay, I guess not. So I guess I'll just leave you a message here letting you know that I'm going to be moving back in with my parents. So, anyways, I'm really looking forward to seeing you soon, Rumi. Hope you're as excited as I am.
Wait, what? What are you talking about right now? What is this?
I mean that, well, let's just say that things aren't exactly going super well with my husband, and so... Well, anyways, I just don't really want to be dealing with him right now is all. But anyways, I'm just glad that I'll be coming home to people who understand and are on my side. People like you. Isn't that right?
I'm sorry, Danny. You're going to have to slow down and go over this with me one more time. I mean, is this some kind of joke or something? Or is it just your way of messing with me like you always do? Because I don't know why you think you can just come back here all of a sudden. Don't you remember you saying that you were never ever going to come back here?
I have no idea what you're talking about at all, Vicky. I mean, it's not like you really even have a right to be complaining about me coming home or anything like that. After all, you're living with my parents at their house, remember?
I know exactly whose house I'm living in right now, thank you very much for telling me. But that isn't even what I'm talking about right now. I mean that you were telling me that you're coming to live here with way too little heads up. But it doesn't matter because I also have some big news that I need to tell you. So just make some time to talk to me later today, okay?
Oh, yeah. I would love to talk to you and catch up and all that, but I'm actually just going to be way too busy doing other things.
You mean like going to the casino and coming back home pissed drunk and God knows what time? Because if I recall correctly, that was one of the reasons why you ended up moving out. You said that you were sick of us telling you what to do.
I'm so looking forward to finally moving in with you and Mom and Dad tomorrow. Isn't this exciting, Vicky? Can you believe that we're all going to get to live together just like one big happy family from here on out? It's just so great.
What are you talking about this time? Are you still going on about moving in?
I bet you thought that I had forgotten all about that when you hadn't heard from me for a while, right? Well, don't worry, I haven't forgotten one bit. I'm so sorry for not reaching out sooner. Wait, no, I'm not. I don't really care at all how you are or what you've been up to. But you're probably curious about how I've been, so I'll tell you that I've been doing really well. Thank you. I've just been so excited to move in with you and my parents.
Danny, I still have no idea what on earth you were talking about at all. What are you going on about?
Are you playing dumb, or are you actually just that stupid? It's actually the latter, probably, isn't it? Well, don't worry. When I'm there, you're going to smarten up when I make you into my maid. Then you'll have to do whatever I want, and you won't have any choice but to obey me.
Danny, you really have no idea what you were talking about at all. Besides, I thought I already told you that you moving in with your parents and I was not going to work. Don't you realize that none of us want or can handle living with you right now? Why can't you just respect our boundaries about that? I mean, you keep talking about moving in with your parents but you seem to be forgetting about your own brother. Have you even talked to Owen about any of this at all yet?
The only thing I need to talk to Owen about is how he could be doing much better than being married to you. But I guess it's a little late to say all that now. It doesn't matter. I'm sure I'll have him wrapped around my finger when I'm home. And then you really will have no choice but to do whatever I say. Isn't that right?
Danny, you have been talking out of your butt this entire time. Do you realize that? I mean, do you not think that we can't all see what's going on here? You got divorced and now you're trying to move back in with your parents. It's very obvious to everyone.
You don't know what you're talking about at all, Vicky, and nobody likes a know-it-all like you anyways. But who cares why I'm coming back home? If I miss my parents and want to be with them, then I can come back and live with them if I want.
I'm not saying that you aren't allowed to come back and live with that. I'm just not really sure that living with your parents is what you really want.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? What do you know about what I do and don't want? Do you have any idea just how stressed out I've been over life? You have no idea what I've been going through at all.
Well, I'm very sorry that life isn't feeling very easy for you right now, but that doesn't change the facts on the ground.
The only fact is that I'm getting divorced, and you have no idea the kind of stress that that's been putting me through. And the only thing that is going to relieve that stress is moving back in with my family and having you as my servant.
Excuse me? You must know that that's not how this is going to work, right? I mean, you can't actually think I'm going to go along with that, right?
I don't care what you think, because it's not a servant's job to think. Your job is just to do as I say. Get it? And I don't remember even giving you permission to speak, so why don't you shut up until I say otherwise? Because if you don't listen to me, I am going to make sure that you end up on the streets with no one to take care of you. Is that what you want?
I take it from that reaction that you have not said a thing about this to Owen at all.
I don't need to explain myself to every single person that asks. All I'm trying to do is be less stressed in life. Is that really so bad?
Nobody is saying that it's wrong to not want to be stressed. I'm just saying that this is not going to go how you think it is. And I am going to ask you to knock this off a second time. Do you understand me?
And just where did this turn-off attitude come from, huh? You really think you can take me on? Because if it's a fight you want, then I am more than happy to give you one. Let me tell you that. Maybe then at least you'll stop talking back to me and learn how to take orders like a good servant.
Danny, the only person here who has no idea what they are getting themselves into here is you. I can assure you of that. But I am trying to warn you now that none of this is going to go the way you want it to. It's all going to blow up in your face. I'm sure that right now your life is really hard with a lot going on. But you are better off where you are than coming back here.
You really will say anything that comes to your mind to try and keep me from coming back, won't you? Don't you have any shame at all? Don't you realize that you shouldn't mess with me? Don't you know that I could get Owen and you to divorce in a second if I wanted to?
You have to be kidding me with that, right? You don't actually think that you can do that, do you?
Oh, why don't you just wait and see when I get back there, huh? You'll see how obedient of a little brother I really have. And then you'll know to listen to me when I tell you to do something.
Well, then I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but Owen and I actually got a divorce last month.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
Oh, I guess you hadn't heard the news yet, huh? You really don't talk with your brother about anything at all, do you? Yeah, him and I aren't together anymore, and I don't live with him or your parents any longer. So, I'm not living with your parents, and when you kept saying you were going to come and live with me, that just wasn't true.
So then, you two really got a divorce, and you're just telling me this now? Are you kidding me? What's the matter with you?
That's right. I did leave your brother, and it's because I couldn't stand living with him anymore. He was nothing but a leech, and so were your good-for-nothing parents. So if you want to come home and live with them, then fine, but that's not my problem anymore.
But I don't get... What do you mean they were leeches? What were they doing to make you say that? I don't get what you're trying to tell me. Can't you just talk to me straight, please?
The only thing that I have to say to you is that you were going to come here and try and use me to get your stress out. But I was already more than stressed having to live with your brother and your horrible parents. So I know for a fact that you moving in would have pushed everything over the edge. And it's not like I didn't really try with Owen and your parents. But I finally hit the limits of patience and could make myself go no further.
But, I mean, why hasn't anyone told me about this? You'd think it would be pretty handy to know that my own brother got divorced.
I didn't bother telling you because I didn't want anything to do with your brother, you, your parents, or any of your family ever again. And you should also know that I am never going back to live with them again.
But wait, I don't get it. The whole reason why I'm coming back is because I owe my husband money, and I thought I could save some by living with my parents.
Well, if that is what your plan was, then I'm afraid that you never had any hope for that to work in the first place.
What is that supposed to mean? Why wouldn't that have worked? You're saying that I won't be able to save money when I move in with my family?
I'm just telling you now that living with your parents is going to be far more expensive than living on your own ever was.
But how can that be? How could it be more expensive to live at home with my parents? That doesn't make any sense at all. What would some housewife like you know about anything?
Well, first of all, I've had a full-time job since last year, thank you very much. And second of all, up until the divorce, I was the one paying for everything for your family.
What do you mean by that? You can't really be serious about that, right? What is going on here?
Do you even talk to your family at all? How have you not heard any of this? What is the matter with you? But if you must know, your whole family is just awful at saving money, and the only thing they are good at is spending it on useless things. The whole reason I found a job is because your lazy brother quit his job and ordered me to work in his place.
But they can't be doing that. Don't they realize how stupid of a decision it is to have you be their only source of income? Please tell me that you're joking right now. I thought that Owen was working for a nice company and made a good salary, but now you're telling me that they've all just come to rely on you?
That's right. So I'm afraid that if you move back in with them now, you would just end up taking my place for them instead. Maybe at least then you'll believe me when I tell you about all the horrible things that your family had been putting me through before I left.
You have to be lying to me. There is no way that my whole family would act that way towards you. But more importantly, do you really think that's how they would act towards me? I mean, if they were really all being so horrible to you, I guess I really do understand why you ended up divorcing Owen. It sounds to me like they never even made you feel like part of the family.
And you were going to add on to the stress by trying to use me like some kind of servant. So it's not like you're exactly blameless in all of this as well. But anyways, good luck dealing with all that.
Wait, hold on a second. This can't be right. Why am I even listening to you? I mean, you're divorced from my brother, and now you're just telling me lies about my family to try and turn me against them? I can see what you're doing here, you know. I'm not going to be fooled. But I don't even want to see you coming around my family again. It's obvious that you don't have their best interests at heart, and you were the one using them.
Well, that's fine, because like I said, I don't want anything to do with them ever again. And if you really think that I would ever come back to them anyways, let me double down on that and tell you never to come to me for help. Because I won't be there for you at all.
Oh, please, you think that anyone would ever need you? You're a good-for-nothing, useless housewife, and that's why my brother left you. So just stay away from my family.
I already told you that I don't want anything to do with your family. How many times are we going to repeat the same conversation?
We're going to keep repeating it until, hypothetically, if this was a script being written by an author with a word count, that word count would be satisfied. Hey, Vicky, are you there? I was just wondering if you and I could talk over the phone for a little bit, maybe? There are just a couple of things that I want to talk to you about.
Well, whatever they are, you can leave me out of it.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that, Vicky. Please, I'm your ex-sister-in-law. You have to be there for me.
I really don't have to do anything for you at all if I don't feel like it, Danny. In fact, you told me to stay away from your family, and I told you that I wanted nothing to do with you. So I don't even know why I'm even responding.
Please, just answer the phone. It's really, really important. I need your help right now.
I thought I told you that I would never ever help you if you came and asked me. So what do you think this is going to accomplish for you?
It's just that, well, everything you said was really true. About my family, I mean. I really can't believe it. Not only are my parents jobless, but they and my brother all have huge loans that they need to pay off, and they're all expecting me to help them out. At this rate, my savings are only going to last another week here.
Yeah, well, they're your family, so it sounds like more of a you problem, don't you think? Anyways, I've got better things to do right now, so I'm going to go.
Wait, hold on. You can't just leave. What are you talking about? I tell you that you were right, and that's all you have to say to me? Don't you think you're being just a little too cruel right now?
Not really. I think that I don't owe you anything, and I'm reacting exactly how I told you I would. In fact, you're lucky that I'm even still talking to you. Don't you realize who you are to me?
What do you mean by that? What am I to you?
You're my ex-husband's sister. That basically makes you no one to me. So why are you even messaging me? I thought I told you that I didn't want anything to do with your family anymore.
But this is really, really important, please. We are basically out of money, and I don't know what we're supposed to do. I really, really need your help right now, Vicky.
Look, Danny, we talked about this. We had a long, circular conversation about this, don't you remember? Because if you forget, then let me remind you that I said that I divorced your brother, I moved away from your family, and I would never ever come back to live with them again.
But please, I thought that you would come back and help me if I really needed it. I mean, we're family, right? Isn't that what family is supposed to do when we're in trouble?
And I literally told you that if you came to me to ask for help that I wouldn't do anything. I told you that, don't you remember? So why do you think things would be different now?
Well, because I thought that you would want to help me. I didn't think that you would leave me like this. But that's it. What if you come and live with us instead? How does that sound?
First of all, you and I aren't family, so let's get that straight right now. Second of all, I already said that I'm never ever going back to live with your family, remember? And if you must know, I am loving living by myself. It is gratifying and liberating and so much better than when I was living with Owen and your family. In fact, I hope you all tear each other apart for all that I care. Because like I said, I don't want anything to do with you or your family ever again.
But then, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get out of this mess? I mean, how are any of us supposed to get out of this mess?
Well, let me change the subject really quick. You got divorced with your husband because you cheated on him, right?
How did you figure that one out?
Well, because I've heard you bragging about it before. So it's not surprising that he found out about it. But anyways, I imagine that when you two did get a divorce that he probably sued you for quite a pretty penny. Here you thought you were going to be able to live with your family and save money to pay them all back. But instead you just joined the rest of your debt-ridden family.
Please, Vicky, things weren't supposed to go this way. I didn't think this was how things were going to end up. I need your help. You've got to do something. Please, move back in with us and help us all out. We need you, Vicky.
In the end, I heard that Danny ended up reaching out to every single other person she could think of for help with her problem. And from what I heard, she had burned just about every bridge she had made with anyone who might have been willing to help her under better circumstances. In the end, I think about half of the people that Danny knew ended up blocking her number. She was expecting to move back in with her parents and not have to worry about a thing. She even thought that I was going to be like a personal servant to her. Danny thought she was going to be able to boss me around while she paid for nothing and only had to worry about herself. But things went far, far off from where Danny thought they would. Instead of being taken care of by her family, Danny found that she was forced to be the main breadwinner for her family. It was obvious to everyone, however, that living like that wasn't sustainable. I heard that Danny and her family ended up selling their family home and moving to a much smaller apartment in the city together. I've heard that each of them have started to work as well. I can't imagine they are saving much money with all of their individual debts. But if you ask me, I think this is just what they all deserve. One can hope that if they do manage to get out of this, that they will have at least learned their lesson. As for me, however, I really was enjoying getting to live alone. After spending my entire time married to Owen, taking care of him and both of his parents, to have just some space for myself was just what I needed. Of course, after a while of being divorced, my heart began to wander and I thought about finding someone new. It was actually just around then that I happened to run into my future husband at the grocery store. We were both grabbing the ingredients for the same recipe that we saw on TV, and that was how he ended up asking me on a date with him. After that, things fell into place rather quickly for us. We're already engaged to be married, and I couldn't be happier. It really does just go to show you what a difference having a healthy and supportive network around can make. But it also highlights the importance of being able to take time to be alone and reflect on things.